Jerry Renard.
All right, what's going on, my people, and welcome to the SN95 Power channel. Shout out to my man. I can't think of your username, but you called it. You're telling me about your son having that Justin Field, aka Marshall Field's jersey, and you said that he wasn't going to be here next year. And yeah, they pulled the trigger on my man Justin Field. So I don't keep up with college football. This guy, Twalib, Rashid, whatever his name is, I hope he does us good. Like, we've got some supporting pieces around him. We still have some capital. We still have draft picks, but that's not what I'm here for today. I'm here because, as you see, I have the car prepped for paint, and just kind of going through blacking out this car. There's some other pieces that I originally didn't intend to do, but I'm going to do. So I'm going to spray the brake booster, and I'm going to spray the reservoir, the master cylinder reservoir. Now, Bear has a real nice thing called the remaster cylinder, which will look killer in that engine bay, but that thing is like $500. I'm not trying to invest in that right now. So next best thing I can do is just spray it. Now, I would not be able to see how much brake fluid I have in there, but how often do you really check your brake fluid if you just regularly street driving? Like, if I was autocrossing or doing something like that, yeah. And if I really want to check it, just pop the top off. And if I got fluid up there that I can see, then I know it's good. So I did take the, where is this thing at? I did take this alternator sort of apart. My man, KRW, he rebuilds these things, and I'm sure he would have this thing apart in a heartbeat. I'm having a hard time taking this pulley off. I don't have a puller. So this piece, I think this is called the stator. But anyway, this piece is still on here, so I need to shove some kind of plastic in here, kind of get it behind these grooves so I don't get any overspray on this stator, if I'm calling it the right thing. So I'm going to finish prepping this. I have the back side of the cover off. I'm going to spray that. I'm using the little cheap, this is the old one, but I have a new one. This is the little small, I call these like disposable guns because this thing is like $20, and it has a very small tip. So I'm not sure how this gun is going to handle that thick. It's not really epoxy, but it's a thick paint, and I'm going to cut it a little bit. We'll see how it acts. Hopefully it comes out good, but let's find out. All right, so I just kind of wanted y'all to hear how a turbine paint gun sounds. Very different than your conventional air compressor. So this is my cheap Harbor Freight turbine spray gun. Now, what I've done in the past is I have a more expensive Fuji turbine spray gun that I use to paint the car. I have this, I keep calling it cheap because it was $100 at Harbor Freight. The spray pattern isn't as good as the Fuji one that I have, but for what I'm doing right now, it actually came to my advantage because with this Harbor Freight turbine sprayer, the spray pattern isn't as large as the Harbor Freight one. So I'm not having an issue with overspray. Now, when I was using my conventional paint gun. It was another Harbor Freight paint gun that I used on the intake manifold, the valve covers. I was running into issues with the paint running. I'm not having that issue right now because for whatever reason with this turbine system, it really doesn't have the same output like the conventional spray gun, which worked out great because I cut it the same way as far as mixing, but spraying, it's a lot less output coming out of here. And I think the tips are the same. This might be a little bit smaller tip. I don't remember. This might be a 1.0, and I think the conventional Harbor Freight spray gun I had was a 1.3 or a 1.6, so maybe that has something to do with it. But like I said, it worked out in my favor because I did not have any issues with overspray. Now, I guess in hindsight, I really should have did more prep work on these pieces. When I say prep work, I mean just kind of sanding it down and making everything nice and flat. But honestly, I just wasn't going for that show car look. So I'm doubling back to this reservoir slash brake booster. I had some spots that didn't have good coverage. And at this point, I'm just really hoping and praying that I covered the engine bay good enough to not get any overspray on any of the fenders. You know, anything that was red, I was really hoping that I didn't get any overspray. But, you know, the way this stuff laid down, I really had to spray it heavy. And that way I got some pretty good coverage. The outcome of this is going to be more than what I expected. All right, I think the brake booster and the master cylinder reservoir came out pretty nice. So I put the intake back on just to try to give myself a visual of my vision on this. So we have the Casper camber plate blacked out. That blacked out. Come over here. You know, we have the intake, the valve covers. I've got the front timing cover. That's going to be black, water pump black. So hopefully when it's done, it's just like this nice contrast of red and black. I'm thinking about ideas what to do with these brake lines coming out of distribution block going into the master cylinder. I think at one point in time I had like the little corrugated sleeves on those things. I probably end up going back with that being black. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to paint in this engine bay. I have to get new but air conditioning lines, the liquid lines, that aluminum. Once I get the new lines, I'll probably paint that aluminum black. And I think that's about it when it comes to doing any more painting. I have another Dizzy. I would love to paint that aluminum part black on a Dizzy, so I'll probably get one of my spare Dizzies, paint that black. But yeah, for the most part, that's the vision. I will love that bare remaster cylinder, but you know, $500, really don't want to spend that this year for that. I've been talking to my man Greg about this, and I'm gonna drop this on y'all. I know I've been kind of back and forth with this turbo kit, but I honestly think this is going to be the last year of this turbo kit, which is kind of ironic because last year was the first year in 3 years where the turbo kit was trouble free. So we'll rock it one last year, make the most out of it, and then we're going to switch to something else. So it's just a little teaser for y'all. Still going to be force induction, but drop a hint or drop a guess in the comments on what kind of power adder do you think I'm going to rock with. So I really like how this looks. It's a DIY job. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll be a heck of a lot easier to take care of this stuff than it was with the polish. You know, with this, I can just get a towel, wipe off the dust, because I see now, just, it's not even at the height of dust season. It's going to, the dust, any kind of particle is going to show on these parts, especially being this dark. Like, man, I really love the way this is going to look. You know, alternator, it's nice and blacked out. Water pump, the power steering bracket, all that stuff is going to be black. We have alternator bracket, and this is what I'm going to try to do, y'all. Let's try to get that. You see where I'm going at with this. I think this is gonna look killer if I can get some black tips. Now, of course, I don't want it hanging out that far, but I think black side exhaust coming out of the SVO ground effects kit, I think that'd be the coup de grace, if that's the right word that I'm thinking about. So I have a local guy. I'm gonna go talk to him probably in a week or, well, first of all, I gotta get the car drivable to get it over there for him to take a look at. But the thought of this is I have the cutout valve, and I want the cutout valve, whenever the cutout valve is open, to flow through the side exhaust. And then I'm going to get some really quiet mufflers for dumps, so I can drive the car to work in the morning. Because I think I said this before, you know, I leave out so early in the morning. This car is loud, it shakes the house. I want to be able to drive this car and not get any kind of nasty letters from the association. So that's the idea. Electronic cutout valve will open up to the side exhaust, and when I'm here in the subdivision, I think Pike's Turbo is their quietest muffler, and just listen to different mufflers online. It's either between that or the Walkers. I was looking at the Valvetronics, but I really don't want to dump $600 on just some mufflers. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna have a consultation with my guy Keith, see what he thinks, and hopefully by Detroit, I'll have side exhaust on this car, which I think would really be the last cosmetic thing that I would really need to do with this car. So a lot of thoughts going on here. I'm just dumping it out on y'all right now. Tell me what you think about it. I really like the black. I really like the dual tips like this. I know SVO, the boiler kit, it had like the little oval style tip. I really don't want that, but I really like the dual black tip. So, hey, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Gosh, I can't get that out. I appreciate y'all rocking with me on this video. And until next time, God bless.